Hello everyone, very good afternoon and welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and I hope everyone is having a very good day today. I hope you're working very hard. I hope you're all prepped up for the session we are going to have today. Most important para summary type questions. If I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone, we're going to be commencing with the session right away. This is one of my most favorite topics and I will ensure that this becomes your favorite as well. Supremely scoring, absolutely highly scoring section. These kind of questions, you shouldn't leave them. ये आपको जरूर attempt करना चाहिए as per my understanding, as per my experience, as per the techniques that I'm going to teach you. I will ensure that you are going to be understanding this topic in and out. So एक बार जल्दी say hi everyone, good evening, good afternoon rather. I hope you can hear and see me clearly. What are we going to be doing today? We've had multiple sessions, right? We've had a few sessions on parajumbles. We did some practice questions, para summary. We're going to do today. We had para fillers. We had odd sentence out. If you haven't seen those sessions taken by me, make sure you do that. You can go back to our channel after the class ends and watch those videos. I've discussed a bit of theory and a lot of important questions. Today, we're going to be doing the same. We'll be picking up the basic concepts of how should you approach a para summary based question, and some practice questions will be applying that theory to it. Hi Resham, good afternoon. So as I say, this is one of the most scoring topics. Why do I say that? Because it is one of the easiest kind of questions you would get. If you get a reading comprehension, you'll have to read an entire passage, and then only after you've understood the entire passage, you will be able to answer most of the questions correctly. Plus, if you get the theta type questions, specifically the parajumbles one, you may get one sentence incorrect and the entire sequence is gone right away, right? क्योंकि वहाँ options नहीं है आपके पास. But here you have options and you can eliminate options and you can come to a correct answer very, very easily. The approach should be clear to you. And that's why it's one of the most highly scoring questions. You should certainly attempt it. With a little bit of practice. You can actually aim at getting 100% of these summary based questions correct. I will repeat, yes, 100% correct is possible here. So we're going to understand the concept, a bit of it, and then we'll apply all of that to the questions we solve. Let's see what exactly this question looks like. You'll be given one paragraph and you'll be given 4 alternative summaries for that paragraph, not a passage, but a paragraph. Okay, and you'll have to identify the correct summary of it. What is the summary? Let's understand that. How do we come to the correct answer? Let's understand that as well. One, if you understand how to identify the summary of a paragraph, you're one step closer to understanding the main theme of an entire reading comprehension that you would get in the main paper, and not one, multiple ones. So you to be able to understand entire passage well, if you start bit by bit, step by step, the first step is to understand these summary based questions correct. Once you get the hang of it, you will see you automatically improve your understanding of the entire passage as well. आपका approach correct हो जाता है. आपको पता है पूरे passage का main theme कैसे निकालना है. It's aligned with a paragraph's summary. So let's understand, when I say a summary, what exactly is that? A summary is nothing but asking you what the main theme or the essence of that para is. That is, in a simpler term, what the whole passage is concerned about, what the whole paragraph is aiming at. What is that one gist that you can draw out of the whole paragraph? The correct option will have that gist. So how do we focus on that? How do we identify that? I'll go through it quickly because this is not a conceptual class. This is more of a practice class. We've had conceptual videos already. Okay. So if the question aims at identifying the main theme of the passage, the essence of the passage, we can also rewrite that as the argument of the passage. In terms of critical reasoning, we call it the argument of the passage. It's very important for us, one, to read the entire paragraph very carefully. Every paragraph will have an argument plus will have a premise. When I use these two terms, are you familiar with these two terms? Have you heard these terms sometimes? What's a premise? What's an argument? Do you know what that is? Do you have any idea about what is the premise of a passage, what is the argument of a passage or a para? Yes? Do you want me to explain this to you? Okay, let me do that. When you have, I as an author, if I have an idea in my mind, okay, and I'm going to sit down with the idea and I want to write a paragraph or a passage about it. The idea in my mind will be the premise, will be the argument, okay? The claim that I have in my head. Take for example, if I'm writing a paragraph saying that Sonam Wangchuk has been sitting on an indefinite hunger strike in Ladakh and these are his demands, and I want to extend my unconditional support to him. So in my mind, I have support for his indefinite fasting, for his demands to be met. When I sit down to write, I'll write many things. I'll talk about the history of Ladakh. I'll talk about who this guy is. What are his achievements? What is the government's stance on it? What does he demand? Why should his demands be met? All of that are written to support one important claim that he has my unconditional support. So ये जो एक लाइन थी कि मेरा unconditional support है, that's the argument. And to support my argument, I've given many explanations. Like, this is the condition of Ladakh right now. It is a union territory currently. This man is no layman. He is an acclaimed scientist. He works for the betterment of Ladakhis. All of this is supporting details. The supporting details are premise. The main claim is the argument. Which out of these two do you think is more important for you to be able to answer a summary of a passage? An argument or a premise? What do you think is more important? An argument or a premise? ज़्यादा important क्या है summary ढूंढने के लिए? Argument ज़्यादा important है या premise? What's your answer? You need to interact. If you don't answer, how would I know if you're able to understand something or not? Come on, guys. It's the argument, because premise is only supporting details. You know, instead of if somebody else also sat for a fast and if the demands remain the same, I would still give out my unconditional support. So, what is happening in Ladakh? What is the geography of Ladakh? What are they struggling with? All of this is a premise. Coming to one important claim, and that is what I believe in, and that's my unconditional support to him. Remember, premise is only data, information, extra information. They are like pillars that will hold the main claim true. Instead of this pillar, I make another pillar. Still remains a piece of information, but what's important is the argument. So we are going to be focusing on the main theme, the essence, or alternatively you can rename it as an argument. Okay, now the point is, if I focus specifically on the summary based questions, how do I even identify that? The easiest and the short way of getting every question correct and getting better with your scores every time is to focus on elimination strategy. That is, if I have read a paragraph, I think A is the correct answer is the wrong way. I think B, C, and D are incorrect, and that's why A is the correct answer is the right way. If you solve a question, you have to look at every single option, because in CAT, the options are going to be very, very close. At least two of them certainly would be very, very close. So you will have to eliminate one to be able to zero down. In fact, eliminate three to be able to zero down on one correct option. So elimination बहुत जरूरी है. While we are practicing that, we're going to do today. Also, if you take a test and if you've got one summary based question wrong, redo it. See, the option that you had marked was incorrect. Why was it incorrect? The correct option was eliminated by you. Why was it eliminated by you? Why is a very important technique you should use. Okay? It is. Absolutely, yes. Argument is the main idea or the conclusion. Absolutely, yes, Resham. These are nothing but interchangeable words for summary only. If you look at the summary based questions, okay, the summary kind of questions we used to do in our school is different from the kind we get in CAT. And here we need to focus straight away on the conclusion that can be drawn out from the whole paragraph. Remember, it's a whole paragraph. Remember, if you draw a conclusion out of a line, it's an inference. It's not a conclusion. Conclusion is something जो आप पूरे passage में से निकालते हैं. Similarly, summary भी पूरे passage से निकलता है. Main theme also is the essence of whole passage. Argument also is the essence of whole passage. So these are interchangeable terms when you talk about a summary-based question. Getting back to my elimination option of eliminating technique. Eliminating is something you have to practice. Asking yourself, why do I think other options are wrong? Not why do I think A is correct or B is correct or C is correct. You might still think why is that correct, but if you don't eliminate other options, you will never be able to improve your score. Mind my words, and that comes from a lot of experience I have. Okay, so every question we solve today, we'll figure out, acha, C is the answer, so why is A, B and D incorrect? That leads us to C as the correct answer. Let's learn a few techniques on how we can eliminate the incorrect answers. Okay. Hi Sanket. Why is your name not Sanket on your handle? Marketry. Okay, I'll try to remember your name, Sanket. So let's learn how to eliminate options. Okay. First, the correct answer, as I said, will be drawn from the whole passage. That means the correct option will give you a bigger picture encompassing the whole, every single line in the passage. One option will be incorrect if it does not encompass a few points from the passage. So the first way of eliminating an option is this option. A is incorrect because it doesn't cover up the whole passage. It does not give me a big picture encompassing every single line. Dekho, when I give you an example of writing a passage on Sonam Wangchuck sitting on a hunger strike, indefinite hunger strike, I spoke about Ladakh, I spoke about its fragile ecology, I spoke about his demands, I spoke about which day of fast is he on. मैंने ये सब line क्यों लिखा? I wrote all of these lines, every single line, to come to the claim that I give out my unconditional support to him. So if there is a summary based option that talks about this, it encompasses everything, the whole passage. It's a summary, it's a conclusion drawn out of the whole passage. If there's a line that talks only about, if there's a summary based option that talks only about the fragile ecology of Ladakh, I'm probably not concerned about how much support I am extending to him. It doesn't cover up the whole passage. It certainly talks about something the passage states, the fragile ecology of Ladakh. But उसके बाद मेरे suggestions भी आए, उसके बाद मेरा opinion भी आया. Fragile ecology of Ladakh वाला option did not speak about that. So any option that's narrow has to be eliminated outrightly. Okay? Any option that's extreme, like for sure, certainly, only, definitely, or all of it. If the passage does not suggest all of that, if the option talks about something that's extreme that the passage does not hint upon, you should eliminate that option as well. वो incorrect होने वाला है. क्योंकि passage may talk in a generic sense, but if you mark an option that's extreme, it violates the essence of the passage and thus it should be eliminated. So your correct answer, remember, should be a big picture, a bird's eye view. I'll be reusing this phrase multiple times in my classes when we do RCs, reading comprehension, even then, and when we do summary based questions, even then. So focus on the big picture, the entire passage. So if there's a bird flying, वो bird पूरा ground देख सकती है. It can look at everything at the ground. That's a big picture, like you're looking at the question from a bird's eye view. So this is another thing that we're going to be focusing on. And if there are opinions of the author, for example, I extend my complete support. That's my opinion. You might disagree to me. But you know, I have expressed an opinion. If there are opinions in the passage, be very careful about that. If there are suggestions given by the author, be very careful about it. You should do this, India should do this, our country should do that. These are suggestions. Suggestions play an important role in your ability to identify the summary. Usually, your correct answer will be accompanied by the opinions and suggestions. So, if there are opinions, focus on that. If there are no opinions, you can skip that altogether and find a neutral option. And the last one is going to be, I'll write that down for you. And this is the most important one. That's highlight keywords. Keywords क्या होते हैं? Remember, you would read some textbooks in your school and you would randomly highlight a word. Why would you highlight that? Not because you do not know the meaning of the word, but you would do that because you think this word is very important in the whole paragraph. This word is what the entire paragraph centers upon. In one summary based question, ideally you should highlight 2 to 3 maximum keywords. I'll do that for you as a sample in the first question. कि अच्छा ये important word है, ये 3 words हैं, ये 2 words हैं. This is what the whole passage is concerned about. When I combine these words, I very likely will see my correct option. So we'll practice highlighting keywords in the next question. Ready everyone for questions? Yes, main words. Sanket, correct. So now before I proceed, did you hit the like button? If you haven't done that yet, make sure you do that right now. That's your Guru Dakshina that I demand. Angutha nahi mang rahi, only the like button. Okay, so hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Thank you if you've done both of it already. And if you're watching my video recorded, make sure you comment under my video with a little thank you note. I read all of the comments, I reply to you personally, and I'll be very obliged to read them. Let's come to our very first question, everyone. Read the question carefully, highlight keywords, and then eliminate options to come to one answer. Good luck. It is Sanket, but it's there in every option, so it doesn't help. What's your answer? Come on, give this a try. A, Resham? Sanket, yours? Let us understand the passage. Okay? So the passage speaks of counterfactual alternatives. For example, I decided to be a teacher. What if I did not start teaching one day? Probably I would have been a manager in uh, an MNC, growing up to be the CEO someday. If only I hadn't taken up teaching. ये सब क्या है? Alternative सोच रहे हैं आप. Counterfactual. Factual क्या है? I'm a teacher. But you're counterfactually thinking, what if I had done this or done that? तो क्या होता? Past कैसा होता? मेरा future कैसा होता? What would have happened? And the mind computes counterfactuals for many reasons. The remaining paragraph explains why we think counterfactual and what impact it has. So, counterfactuals explain the past, it prepares us for the future, they explain various relations, they modulate emotions. Basically, why we create counterfactual alternatives and what it does to us is what the paragraph talks about. So, of course, there are 2 points that I've highlighted, which I think are the keywords here. Counterfactual alternatives and many reasons. But then counterfactual, तो देखो चारों options में I can't eliminate one option. Okay. When I say many reasons, all of the remaining paragraph talks about the reasons. Option D says counterfactuals help people to prepare for the future by understanding intentions and making decisions correctly written in the passage. लेकिन something stuck with my PPT. आंसर देखो, सी तो मिल गया तुम लोगों को, मैं एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ कैसे. ओके. By the way, A was a very, very close option. Let's understand how. D is true as per the passage, but is that a bird's eye view? Is that a big picture encompassing everything? It is not only preparing for the future, it's about the past as well. It's about your decision making as well. It's about modulating emotions as well, about grief and regret and relief, all of that. It's about many, many things. So, this is only a part of the premise. Option D is eliminated. Let's look at option B because I think A and C were very, very close. Let's eliminate B. Counterfactual thinking helps to reverse past and future actions and reason out false beliefs. Correct. But if there is an option that encompasses more parts of the passage, like ability to create development through childhood and reasoning and beliefs and false beliefs and judgments. ये option judgments की बात नहीं कर रहा. It doesn't talk about reasoning. It's partly true. It again does not give me a big picture. It's only a premise. But let's look at A. People create counterfactual alternatives for various reasons. One, reasoning, other, people's belief. मेरा reasoning, मेरा belief, मेरा counter belief, false belief, मेरा past, मेरा future, all of that contributes to my developmental process. This is one word that includes beliefs, reasoning, understanding intentions, making decisions. All of these options actually are given in one term, which gives me a big picture. So if you look at A, till various reasons it was right. But the reasons explicitly mentioned were only two. I can combine these two, including these in one word, and that is developmental process. Developmental process will include your beliefs, will include your reasoning, will include decision making, intentions, everything will make you a person that you are today. And that's why your mind creates counterfactual alternatives. So we have a bigger picture as C. Did you get it, everyone? So I'll reiterate the points we had discussed. And the points were that we will highlight keywords. Yes. We will look at the bigger picture and we'll focus on eliminating options. Since there are no opinions and suggestions here, we can eliminate point out number 4 in the first question. Okay? I hope you've understood that. You were, Resham, but that's why, while you practice, like how I explain things to you, you have to do it on your own when you practice. Every single question that we have in our classes, in our batches, when we upload them on our test series, mock test, sectional test, every question is backed up with the thorough description. Go through the explanation. Figure out why. आपने मेरे से पूछा ना मैम, जैसे why मैम, how मैम, आपको अपने आप से पूछना है. You have to ask yourself, why is A wrong? Why is C better? Why is very important, so that you have a graph like this. Your scores are constantly increasing, and I'll repeat this 100 times. This is a very, very scoring question. These kind of questions should be attempted by you. And I'm very confident with a few more questions practice, you start getting them correct. So, Sankalp, if I got your name correct. Sanket, sorry. You've understood that. So let's do one more question. Okay? Good luck. What's your answer? If you're confused between two options, you can tell me both the options as well. What you confused between. Doing that, Resham. I've highlighted a few words. I've written one word as well, which I think is evident across the passage. Okay, now give this a try. Also, if you're stuck between two options, one way of figuring out the correct answer is to see the difference between the two options. For example, I think C and D are close, B and C are close, A and B are close, whatever you think are close. See, difference क्या है दोनों में? Is there a word that makes A different from B, B different from C, C different from D? Look at that word and then compare which one is closer to the passage. B, okay. Resham, do you see a suggestion coming from the author in the whole passage? Sanket, you too. क्या करना चाहिए आपको? Do you see a suggestion from the author anywhere? What you should do? The passage is divided into two parts, past and present, connected with a but. I've highlighted the but. But, although, however, ये words बहुत important होते हैं. Therefore, these conjunctions are very, very important. If there's a but, although, however, that means there's a flip side to it and you have to be very careful about that. Example, I work very, very hard, but my mock scores are low. What is important? Working hard? No. Mock scores are low. That is what we need to work on. So, but, however, although these words play a very crucial role, highlight them when you highlight the keywords. This tells us the passage is divided into two parts. One is the past of manipulating misinformation. The second, the present of it. There is a commonality between both the scenarios, and that is misinformation was used for political gain. In the past as well, for Octavian, in the present as well. But the difference between the past and the present is past did not have technology. The present is fueled by technology. So it's even easier to spread misinformation. Okay? I'm sure the very famous Donald Trump case came to your mind while you were reading this paragraph of misinformation and smear campaigning and all of that. But वो अलग story है. अभी दो part में passage divided है, part 1 and part 2. Common क्या है? Political gain के लिए people used misinformation. In the past, there was no technology. Presently, it is fueled with technology. Now choose the correct answer. B says people need to become critical of what they read since historically weaponization of misinformation has led to corruption. देखो एक तो corruption may still be true, but there is no suggestion from the author, so we will eliminate that. No, Resham. This time Sanket is correct. I'll explain how. So, D says Octavian used fake news to manipulate people and attain power and influence just as people do today. Where is technology? Is that not a part of your keyword? Is that not a part of your main theme? People do it today. People did it in past. Yes, of course, for attaining power. But there's a quintessential element that differentiates past from present, and that's technology. That means your main theme needs to have that. This is partly true. This is only a premise. Okay. A says disinformation which is mediated. Actually, we've eliminated option B and D. And I believe A and C are very, very close. Okay, let's see the correct answer between A and C. Use of misinformation for attaining power. Yes. A practice that is as old as the Octavian era is currently fueled by technology. Technology mentioned here. Disinformation which is mediated by technology mentioned here as well. That means दोनों options focus कर रहे हैं on technology. Is not new and has existed since ancient times. What is the difference between A and C? C focuses on using this misinformation for power, which was the case in the past, which is the case in the present as well. So there is a commonality between both attaining power and misinformation mentioned in C, but A mentions only disinformation and does not mention gaining power. It mentions technology as well, but C becomes broader than A is. A is narrower. Thus, C encompasses every aspect of the passage better than A does because A is narrower. It doesn't talk about why people used misinformation in the past and in the present. That's why A is an incorrect answer. Understood? Yes? All right. I think you're able to get it. Again, if you're watching it, record it. And if you have any doubts or if you have any topics that you want me to take up later on, you can just comment under my video. Plus, if you think you were benefited with this session, make sure you comment under my video with a little thank you note. Let's do one more question, everyone. This is easy. Let me give you a hint. There are suggestions here. Hmm. I'm sure you can do it this time. B. Hi, Timothy. Good to see you in the chat. Have you been live all this while? Sanket, Resham, answers? C. Okay, let's understand the paragraph. I'll highlight the keywords according to me. Heat waves, people who are vulnerable, People not perceiving heat wave as a threat. Even vulnerable people not perceiving heat wave as a threat. What does this mean? People think, kya hai heat wave? Nothing's going to happen to me. It's okay. I'm going to turn the AC on and sit inside my house. I don't think it's a threat. Even if I'm vulnerable like a child or a senior citizen, people don't take heat waves as a threat. And then there is a suggestion towards the end. The suggestion is to news media. Why people do not perceive heat waves as a threat? Because they think, because you know how heat waves, it has been projected in front of us, isn't as strongly as it currently is. The situation is worse, but it isn't projected as one. So the suggestion is that people should know heat waves, what heat waves are. You should understand how important it is. How you can deal with it, the suggestion from the author is news media. Ko dikhana padega. The news media will show it to people how severe condition you are in. Option A. Protection from heat wave is important, but current reports and public policies seem ineffective. Sanket, if you ask me, ma'am, how do I increase my mock scores? The problem is you not be able to increase your mock scores. I'll give you suggestions. These are the 5 things you could do. If I have a suggestion, what is important, the suggestion or the problem? That your mock scores are not increasing. Probably the strategy you were following was ineffective. But I have a suggestion for you. Follow these 5 things, your mock scores will increase. Since I have a suggestion, the problem is a minor one now. You need to follow what I'm asking you to do. That's true that the current policies are ineffective, but if I have a suggestion for you in terms of what media does, it becomes even more important. Media is my keyword. This is primary. Eliminated. People are vulnerable to heat waves caused due to climate change. Measures taken are ineffective. Again, same logic eliminated. Of course, they're ineffective, but you have a suggestion. Focus on media. Media can still do it. It can project heat wave in a serious manner. Where's media? Suggestion kahan hai? Nahi hai. Eliminated. News stories help in warning about heat waves. Yeah, media. But they have to become more effective. Again, what is that? The risk of heat wave is. The entire first half of the paragraph talks of the risk. This option doesn't inch upon it. B talks about risk. B talks about suggestion. Both. It's a combination of the 2 parts of the paragraph. And that's why B is the correct answer. And you've got that right now, all of you. So I think you've got the hang of it. FYI, all of these were previous year questions, actual paper questions. So, but I've chosen some easy ones, comparatively mediocre ones, certainly not as easy. Some of them may be a little tricky, but I think by this time you've got the hang of how to approach such questions, okay? And just a minute. And I'm sure you're going to be practicing all these questions. Please find them on our app. You have many practice questions there. Please solve them in the mock tests. And remember to ask yourself why. Why is A wrong? Why is C wrong? Why is D wrong? That makes B correct. Without elimination, you can't do it. In the similar way that I'm explaining things to you. You can save this video and revisit it later on because this has some ounce of explanation as well. So that you can come back to it and revisit the explanation that I gave you. And on that note, we come towards an end of our class. Make sure you've hit the like button. Don't leave without that. We have a free workshop for CAT 2024 aspirants on 31st March, 11 a.m. where Srinivas sir is going to speak about everything and anything about how you can score a 99 percentile in CAT 2024. It's a free workshop, but you need to register yourself beforehand. Do that right away. The link is there under my video in the description box. Our CMAT specialized course is launched, comes for a very nominal cost. If you're preparing for CMAT, see us in the batches right away. Today I have a class with you at 9. So do that right now. See me in the batch right away. And these are the details about our CMAT course, our first All India Open mock for CAT 2024 goes live on 5th of April, ends on 14th April. If you wish to see where do you stand amongst thousands of kids, you have to take this All India Open mock. Comes for free. The link is there under my video in the description box. Make sure you register yourself beforehand, only then you'll be able to take it, but do take it for sure. Any questions about our batches, about our mock tests, about our test series, about what we have to offer to you about CAT 24, there's a link under my video, free one-to-one counseling session. Click on the link, fill out your basic details, and one member from my team is going to give you a call and help you out with the doubts that you have. Make the most of it because it's a free counseling session that we're providing you with. And find our app on Google Play. The link again is there under my video. That's going to be all for today, everybody. I hope you had a fun learning session with me. I shall see you again very soon. All right. So have a very good day. God bless all of you. Yes, I'm going to do that, Resham. But all of these actually were previous year question paper. But we'll start off with the series as well. See you soon, everyone. Have a good day.